They say evil wears many faces, but in one quiet town, it wore the face of the man they trusted most. Nobody saw it coming. This place wasn't the kind where people locked their doors at night. Neighbors greeted each other by name. Kids played till sunset. And if anything ever went wrong, everyone knew exactly who to call. His name was Ethan Blake. If you asked anyone who the best man in town was, they'd point straight at him. He was everywhere. Coaching kids on summer weekends, delivering groceries to the elderly without ever asking for thanks, leading prayers at the Grace Community Church every Sunday with trembling emotion, as though heaven itself sat on his shoulders. People didn't just like Ethan. They admired him. They trusted him with their children, their homes, their secrets. And all the while, someone in that very same town was burying bodies. The first was discovered by accident. A jogger tripped over what looked like a pile of dirt and roots, but beneath it was a young woman, missing for 2 weeks. No fingerprints, no footprints, no witnesses, just silence. Then came a second body, and a third. Panic spread like wildfire. News stations began whispering the word everyone was too afraid to say out loud. Serial killer. But who could it be? No one fit the profile. This wasn't a city full of shadows. It was a town full of good people. Detectives built victim profiles. No overlap, no pattern, no connections. It was like someone had rolled a dice to decide who lived and who died. Until one tiny clue slipped through. All the victims' clothes contained the same trace of industrial strength bleach. Not the kind you buy at supermarkets, but the kind used by professionals. Someone who cleaned for a living. Someone who knew how to sanitize things the right way. Suspicion quietly turned inward. Eyes shifted toward janitors, factory workers, medical staff. But the truth was far worse. One late evening, a man in uniform-style trousers was caught on a security camera buying crates of industrial cleaner with cash. No face visible, just posture, confidence, authority. There was only one kind of person who walked like that. The detectives didn't want to believe it. The town wouldn't believe it. Until the name appeared on the arrest report. Ethan Blake. Not just the man who helped fix Mrs. Patterson's roof. Not just the man who hugged orphans at Sunday school. Not just the man who led prayers with tears running down his face. Ethan Blake was a police officer. One of the very people assigned to hunt down the killer. He knew every loophole, every forensic trick, every blind spot. He offered to help the investigation, studied evidence reports, stood beside grieving families, knowing exactly where the bodies were buried. While children called him Uncle Ethan, their mothers had no idea he watched them with different eyes. The town didn't just lose their innocence. They lost their definition of trust. Because how do you protect yourself from a monster when the monster is the one who promised to protect you? Monsters don't always hide in the dark. Sometimes they stand right next to you in the light. Want more stories that challenge what you think you know? Subscribe to Crime and Color and hit the bell, because next week's story is even closer to home.